what's going on? This is Nick LS, and today I'm going to answer the question, am I bored of the Ninja 400? The answer is absolutely not. I would say I've learned a lot in these past 4 months of riding my Ninja, and let me tell you, I am nowhere close to done learning on this bike. There's still plenty more things I need to do better, and there's many more things I can learn how to do. Like for instance, one of the things that I can work on and try and get better at is shifting. I would say my shifting has become a lot more smooth since riding, since beginning. Something I've been kind of dabbling in is shifting at higher revolutions. I was reading some of the comments, as I always do, and someone had pointed out that you can shift the Ninja between 7 to 10K. And that was actually something I was experimenting with, and I gotta say I like higher revs. The bike sounds a lot cooler too at those high revolutions. Another thing I can work on is staying tighter in my turns and overall just a faster turn, especially going through roundabouts. I usually go in first gear. I would like to get into the second gear range, going 20s, something like that, as well as taking my Ninja 400 at faster speeds. I have taken it freeway speeds, but within the law, within reason. I definitely have not maxed out the top speed on this bike, and probably don't plan to anytime soon. I do like to try and stay safe out there. I would also like to be better in traffic. I usually don't go out at super busy times of the day. When I ride, I usually drive my car to work. Just driving to and from downtown, there's a lot of traffic, and I'm kind of nervous riding all that traffic. So that's something that I would eventually like to build up to, is ride in heavier traffic, given that is a little bit more dangerous. But I think it'd be awesome just to be always alert, as I always am, but just that much more. I'm also starting to learn a little bit more about lane positioning and where you want to be on your bike. I generally know where to be, but there's certain circumstances that will cause you to need to shift where you are on the road on the bike. And there are many more things I would like to learn and work on. So there is a lot more room for improvement 4 months into riding the Ninja 400. So that being said, there is no way I can be bored of this bike. It's just an awesome all-around bike. It sounds great, it looks great, it performs super well. I would say the Ninja 400 outperforms any other smaller sports bike in its class. It's super fun to ride. Since owning my 400, riding has become one of my biggest hobbies. I love to get out there and ride every day, weather permitting, whether it's going to the store, going to the gym. I just love to ride. Anything I want to accomplish on my bike, I can, because the Ninja 400 is just that versatile. It's great in everyday traffic, it's great on the freeway, it's just a great grocery getter. It can do it all. I thoroughly enjoy just going out and getting lost on my bike, just finding new roads, exploring new paths. It's just something that is super special. And being on a motorcycle is just extremely freeing. I would say my favorite thing I've learned so far on my 400 is learning how to rev match. And for those of you who don't know what a rev match is when you downshift. There's a lot of engine bog and a lot of engine braking, so it's not a very smooth downshift, and you might have kind of a jerky motion. So what happens when you rev match is it's a simultaneous motion. You pull in the clutch, you flip the throttle, and then you go ahead and downshift. Like I said, in one motion. What it does, it jumps up the RPMs to match downshift, because when you're going down a gear, your revs pop up. So that way when you're flipping the throttle, you're matching those revs. So that way it's a more smooth transition. Not only isn't smooth, but it sounds fantastic. And also, if you're going to come up to a stoplight or a stop sign or anything, you're coming to a stop, you can slowly downshift. You don't need to brake at all until the end. That leads me to my next favorite thing, is the rev bomb. I have a slight addiction going underneath a tunnel or an underpass, is when you pull in the clutch, so that way it kills all the power to the back wheel, and then you just go on the throttle, and you get the nice growl and the echo underneath the underpass, and that is something that, like I said, I have quite the addiction to, just because I just love hearing it. I've also had a lot of fun customizing my bike. My bike, when I bought it, already had the Leo Vince exhaust on it, as well as the spools and the radiator guard. So it already had some nice additions to it. But like I said, one of the more fun things I did was I put on the tinted windscreen as well as the fender eliminator, and that just totally cleaned up the look of the bike. So that was a pretty easy process, just a little weekend project. So definitely a lot more things I can do with the Ninja. One thing I was thinking about was sliders. Not necessary, but just could be my next addition. Another thing that I will never get bored of is the compliments that the Ninja 400 gets. My bike turns heads wherever I go, and I do get a lot of compliments. Like if I'm in the gym, someone sees me with my helmet, they'll go, "Oh, is that your Ninja out there?" I go, "Oh yeah, it is." They go, "Oh, that's a nice bike." Another thing that I really enjoyed was buying all the gear for my bike. I went ahead and got matching gear for everything. I got pretty lucky actually with the matching helmet to my bike. I first bought my helmet for the beginner's rider class, and I bought it was white. And then I found my bike a couple weeks later, and I actually have a video talking about my process of buying my bike, how to buy a bike. Go ahead and check that out. That's my previous MotoVlog. And yeah, the bike ended up being white too. And then I eventually ended up getting white gloves with the white jacket and the black accents. So I am totally matching out there, and white is a very visible color, so you can stay safer out there on the road. I love how beginner friendly the Ninja 400 is. For being an entry-level beginner bike, this thing is absolutely fantastic. You honestly can't beat the price for the performance that you're getting. Like I mentioned before, I loved doing the aftermarket additions, but I also really enjoy doing the maintenance on this bike. The reason being, it's so easy to do. I do have a stand for my bike, and the spools on the back, I can go ahead and set it up, and it just makes access to the chain that much easier. You can spin it to clean it, and then to lube it, just checking the tire pressure and filling it up if it's low. And then obviously, of course, my favorite part is washing the bike and getting that nice Pearl Blizzard white to shine and sparkle. The Ninja 400 is eye candy. I love the way it looks, like I said before. It actually almost looks like a scorpion. It does have a super aggressive look to it. Another aspect that I will never get bored of is how nice people are to you on the road. Passing by other bikers, you can do the 2 fingers down, just as a sign of saying, "Hey, what's up?" Stay safe out there on the road, all that kind of stuff. Another thing that I noticed is that if you're at a 4-way stop and maybe someone gets there suddenly before you, a lot of people tend to wave me on, which is awesome. So the kindness out there on the road is something that I really appreciate. There honestly is not a time where I'm not smiling looking at this bike or riding this bike. It brings that much joy to me. I really appreciate it, and it's been a fantastic bike. I'm really glad I went with the 400 as my first bike. I was looking at a lot of older model Ninjas for my first bike just because they were a little cheaper. But I'm really glad I went with the newer model. The clutch on it is super light, super easy to learn on. Like I said, I've had no problem at all learning, and I just want to learn more. I do not see myself selling this bike anytime soon or getting rid of it. It's been absolutely perfect. You know, thoughts of getting eventually a bigger bike, maybe like the 650, have popped into my head, but then I reflected upon it and thought, well, I still haven't gone and used the full potential of the 400. So at this point, getting a bigger bike's not an option, just because I enjoy the 400 so much. The 400 can still hang around a lot of the other bigger bikes. My friend has a Yamaha R6 that I've been riding with, and granted, that bike is a lot faster and a lot quicker than the 400, but still, just in ordinary daily traffic, no problem keeping up at home. That is another thing I will never get bored of, is riding with friends. Group rides are so much fun, and it's just a great experience. And I also use it as a learning tool, just because you can see how other riders handle the road in their bike and what they may do in certain situations. I really enjoy the adrenaline rush I get while riding. There's no better feeling than hitting a perfect shift or accelerating super smooth, passing traffic, switching lanes. It's such a great experience, and as you see up ahead, I'm about to jump on the freeway, and that is something I have been enjoying a lot more recently, is just building up to those faster speeds. It's such a rush just knowing that it's you and the bike and then the road right underneath you. There's nothing holding you on, there's nothing strapping you in, it's just you sitting on the bike going at those higher speeds. Like I said, just pure adrenaline. And the Ninja 400 performs on the freeway extremely well, so I can stay pretty confident riding up there. And I don't have any problem keeping up with traffic. Merging on is no problem. The only thing that kind of still scares me a little bit is the switching lanes part. Is turning my head and letting the wind just totally hit my helmet and just trying to stay straight. But that will come more natural with more practice. Like I said, it is so much fun to rip it at freeway speeds and getting all the way from first to sixth gear. It's just such a blast. It really is. Again, I still haven't been on the freeway that much, just kind of get on, get off sort of situation. Ride, at the most is 2 exits. Get on, hit the roundabout and jump back on, back home. So I definitely have not rode on the freeway for as much time as I would like. But again, not bored, because there's still so much more I can do. So if you're thinking about getting a bike, being your first bike as a newer rider, I would highly recommend the Ninja 400. So just to sort of wrap things up, the answer is absolutely not. I will never get bored of this Ninja 400. I've been riding for 4 months now, and even in another 4 months from now, I will still not be bored. There is so many more possibilities what I can do with this bike. I have not maxed out the potential of this bike. I don't even know how I could. Just riding on the streets, there's no way you can. If you get a straightaway on the freeway, you can probably blast it to that high speed. Again, no intention to do that anytime soon. I've just had a lot of fun with this bike. It has not been disappointing, and I'm really glad I won. It's been such a great experience. Thank you for tuning into my MotoVlog. Please subscribe if you haven't. I do make plenty of Ninja 400 videos. Thank you.